In this example, I'll show how you can expose a business rule in an SCA component. Business rules allow dynamic decisions at runtime, allowing policies to be separated from the underlying application code. To create the composite, I'll create an empty SOA project. I'll create the input and output schemas. I'll add a mediator component, selecting the input and output types from the previous step. I'll add the business rules component, map the data to and from the rules component using the mediator, implement the business rules, create a simple test case, and deploy the server and run a quick test. The purpose of this rule will be to derive the credit card type from the card number. To create the rule composite, I'll create a new SOA project. Give it a name, and select Empty Composite. I'll create the schema files for the input and output data types. Now I'll create a mediator. That will assist us in mapping the input and output data types to and from the rule. Drag the mediator, give it a name, select synchronous, and select the input and output types that we just created. Select Expose as a SOAP component. That will automatically create the WSDL. Now drag the business rule to the component, and select the same input and output data types from the schemas just created. Now wire the mediator to the business rule. Now edit the mediator to map the input type from the WSDL to the business rule. And do the same to the output type. Now edit the business rule. For demonstration purposes, I'll add a couple of very simple rules. I'll simply check the first number in the credit card to see if it's a 4. If so, I'll set the type to Visa. I'll then check to see if it's 50 through 55. If so, I'll set it to MasterCard. That's not entirely accurate, but for demonstration purposes, it's adequate. Before deploying it to the server, I'll add a very simple test case just to make sure that the rules work. If all goes well, deploy it to the integrated server. After deployment, I'll run a test. Navigate to the Enterprise Manager, go to the Deployed Composites, and select the New Rules component. Click Test, and in the request, I'll paste in a test visa number. Go back to the request and paste in a test MasterCard number. And if all goes well, you should see a good response. And that's it, deploying a quick rules component.